Life project, writing checks and addressing envelopes. So this is an envelope. And when you're addressing an envelope, these three parts are very important. First, put your address. Okay. So if they ever have to send something back to somebody, your address is there so they can send it back to you. Then this is the address of the person that's receiving the envelope. And then you always need to put a stamp on there. Okay, so we're going to put my name, Kimberly Martin. My husband is Ricky Martin. My address is 28771 Rio Norte Drive, and that's in Valencia, California, 91354. Notice that the street address is first, then you put what city and state we're in. Okay, so I'm sending this to Southern California at Edison, the electric company. And they're at 25625 Rye Canyon Road. And the city they're in is Valencia, California, 91355. So please fill out yours. Okay, so what you're going to do is you have 4 envelopes in your packet that says My Life Project. You're going to find, it's at the very end, you're going to find 4 envelopes. You are going to address these envelopes, the 4 envelopes with this information. Southern California Edison is the first one it's going to. The second one it's going to is the gas company. The third one to Spectrum. And the fourth one, Wells Fargo Bank. Okay? The address you're going to use, do not use your home address. Put your name at the top. And then this right here is the address you're going to use. So up here, just like I put Rio Norte Junior High up here, you're going to put it right there. I put my name and then I put Rio Norte. That's what you're going to do. Okay. Then you're going to write 4 envelopes. That's what you're going to do right now. You have 7 minutes to do that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about checks. Anytime you have a check, up here in the left-hand corner will be your name, your address. And sometimes some people put their phone numbers, but not usually. Up on the top right-hand side, there will be a check number. Down here will be the name of the bank that you have. And then at the very bottom is the bank information. So this first number would be what's called your routing number. This would be your checking account number or savings account number. And then this is the number of the check. Okay. Now the part that you fill in, the part that's not already there, is the date up here, the name or company that you're writing the money to, the amount the check is for in numbers, then how much it's in words. Then you're going to put a comment as to what this is about, and then your signature. So let's look at it again. So here is a check. These are the parts you're going to fill in. You're going to put the date. Then it says paid to the order of. So who are you going to pay? Who are you going to write the money for? Then how much are you paying? And this is in numbers. Down here, how much you're paying in words. Now, like if you're writing a check to Rio Norte ASB, you don't know what that's for. So you need to put what it's for. Is it for a yearbook? Is it for a dance? What is it for? And then over here is your signature. And boys and girls, signature is cursive writing. It is not printed writing. So you need to come up with a signature. Okay. So I'm going to pretend 5/20/24. I'm going to send this to Wells Fargo. And I'm going to pay how much I pay for my housing. If I go back to my budget basics page, if you go back to the budget basics page of the notes that we've taken, you will see that the very first line is housing, and that's 30% of my monthly paycheck. And that would be $5,681. Now, I need to write that out in words. So 5,681. And do you notice how I put this line here? That's so that nobody can add on money to it. What's it for? It's for my mortgage. And then it's supposed to be in cursive, but this is the best I could do. So that is what my check would look like if I was writing a check to Wells Fargo to pay my mortgage. Okay, notice that my check number is 2815. Okay. Now, this is a check registry. So what happens is you want to keep track of all your checks and your debits and your deposits, money you're putting into the bank, money you're taking out of the bank. And this is what you're going to put it on as a check register. Okay, the first thing you want to do is you want to put the starting balance. So I got paid a monthly balance. So that's what we're going to start off with. If you go to your taxes page, the one that has the tax bracket at the top, the very bottom of the page, it'll tell you how much money you are making in 1 month. And that amount of money is going to go right here where it says balance in this top white box right there. So I would make $19,435. So for our example, please write this down. Now, we just wrote a check a minute ago. And that check, oh, that was weird. Okay, my check number was $2,815. What was the date on the check a second ago? It was 5/20/24. What is my description of the transaction? I was paying my mortgage to Wells Fargo. How much did I pay? I paid $5,681. Okay, so all of that information came straight from the check that I wrote. Let's go back and look. Right here, all that information came from this check. Everything I just wrote came from that check. Okay. Now, what I need to do is, this is a debit. That means I need to subtract this money from this. So I'm going to subtract $5,681. And when I do that, I get $13,754. Okay, so our groceries are going to be $300 for the first person and $175 for each person after that. So 300 plus 7 times 175. And you may be thinking, why is it 7 times? Well, if you look at my family, I'm this person, my spouse, Ricky, and we have 6 kids. So I'm the first person, so that's 300. My husband is the second person, and we have 6 kids. So 1 plus 6 gets 7. So that's why we have 7 times 175, because it's 175 for each additional person. So it's going to cost us $1,525 for groceries each month. Now, normally when you go to the store, you don't normally pay with a check. Usually use your debit card. Let's say I went on 5/20. I have groceries and it costs this amount of money. Now, hopefully you're writing this down as we do this. Okay, I'm going to subtract that from my $13,754, and I'm going to get $12,229. Okay. So, what happens if somebody decides they're going to be really nice and they're going to give you money? You're going to deposit money into your account. So I'm going to deposit money. That means I'm going to put it into the credit columns because I'm going to add that to this. So let's say we put it in on 5/22. It's birthday money. You could have said who it came from or whatever, and it's $250. I'm going to add that to my $12,229, and I get $12,479. Okay, now I've got this going. We need to put in this information right here. Okay, we started out with a check for, the check was $28.15. So our next check would be $28.16. Okay, let's say we paid it on the 22nd. We're paying it to the gas company. Okay, if this is a debit, so it's going to be, we're taking out $82.35. I'm going to subtract that and get $12,396.65. Okay, so I 5 more things that I have to put into my register. My next thing is the electric company. So I'm going to write the next check, which is $28.17. For some reason, I put it on the 21st. It's okay. Who did I give it to? The electric company. Should be company. It's $185.79. So I subtract the $185.79 from the $12,396.65. And I would get $12,210.86. Okay, so now I have 4 more to go. The next one is the phone company. I write my next check. My next check should be $28.18. Let's say I wrote it on the 22nd. I'm writing it to the phone company. Now, could you have put AT&T or could you have put T-Mobile, Verizon, Cricket? Yeah, that's fine. For this, we're just putting phone. We're paying $200 for that. So I subtract $200 from the $12,210.86. And when I do that, I get $12,010.86. Okay, I only have 3 more. The next check would be $28.19. Wrote it on the 22nd. It's TV internet. Could you have put Spectrum or AT&T or DirecTV or whatever? Yes. And for this, that's $198. So I subtract that from the $12,010.86, and I would get $11,812.86. Okay, 2 more things. Trash is next. So my next one is $28.20. Say I wrote it on the 23rd. Goes to the trash company, whether you're using Waste Management or Burtec. It's $35. I subtract that and I get $11,777.86. And last but not least is my water bill for the check of $28.21. Wrote it on the 25th. It's for water. Now, some people are like, that costs so much money for what? It's not talking about drinking water. No, you can get it out of the tap and actually drink it, but it's your tap water. It's the garden water. It's the shower. It's the toilet. It's all the water, the washing machine, all of that stuff. And that is $56.28. And we subtract it and get $11,721.58. So this is a check register. I wrote registry at the top for some reason, but that's okay. It's a register. All you're doing is putting in what you wrote a check for and subtracting that information. So now we practiced it. Now you're going to do it on your own. Okay? It's your turn to do this. We already did the envelopes, but we need to write the checks and do the check register. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to write a check. It's in your packet, and it's going to be check 2515. You're going to write it to Wells Fargo, and the amount that you write it for is you go to the budget basic page, and there's a housing limit. It's 30% of what you make, and you're going to put that on the check. Then you're going to write the next check, 2516, and you're going to write it to Southern California Edison. It's your electric bill, and it's for $89.92. Your third one is going to write the check 2517 to the gas company, and that's $23.42. Then the last check is 2518. Going to write it to your favorite college. I went to SUU. I'll write it to SUU, and it's a $50 application fee. So you're going to do that. You have 7 minutes to do that. Okay, so now what you're going to do, using those 4 checks that you just wrote and your monthly income, you're going to fill out your check register. So you're going to write your net monthly salary. It's on the tax page, and you're going to write it right here. Okay? You're going to go to that tax. It's like the third piece of paper in your packet. You're going to go and you're going to get that balance at the bottom of the page. Then, once you do that, you're going to put the information for the checks, 2515, 2516, 17, and 18. You're going to write the date for it. You're going to write the description, the debit, and then whatever this amount was in your balance, you're going to subtract each one of these. I'm going to give you 4 minutes to do that. Okay, you should have written envelopes, written the 4 checks, and wrote in the register. Those are the 3 things you should have accomplished for today.